guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, so we are talking Turner syndrome. And this week, I actually wanted to just jump straight into the topic and talk about the coexisting conditions that can come along with Turner syndrome. So, if you Google Turner syndrome, there are various lists by WebMD and Mayo Clinic about the different symptoms of Turner syndrome. So there are the main major health concerns like growth and development and puberty and heart. And there's also the other just caused by underlying hormone issues, things like thyroid issues. And so you can have things like Hashimoto's. There's so many other random things that can happen with Turner syndrome that there's a lot of consideration you have to take into how to deal with them and what might come up for you. So some of the things that I'm not sure how common they are, but I know they can happen are liver problems. Absolutely. There's obviously the major heart problem. There's hypo or hyperthyroidism. And there's diabetes. I've also gotten questions about things like restless leg syndrome, anxiety, just normal organ function all around, and weight management. So I thought we could touch on a few of them and see what maybe we could do to help that. So for restless leg syndrome, I don't actually know how common of a one for Turner's girls this is. I know I have it, but I got it from my dad. I've been guessing my dad has it also. So I know I got it. I don't know how common this is. So if you are a girl with Turner's and you have restless leg syndrome, comment down below and let me know. Maybe it's pretty common with Turner's. I'm not sure. What I have found that helps me with restless leg syndrome is stopping caffeine at a certain point in the night and kind of limiting my caffeine intake overall. I know some of you might be laughing because of how much of a coffee addict I am, but mostly I'm thinking of soda. Also, working out. I have lately been working out at night, like right before bed, and I know there's some myths that you're not supposed to work out at night. You're supposed to work out in the morning. You burn more fat at that time, but I tend to think anytime you can actually move is just fine, and it really helps me sleep, and it does help me get rid of that restless feeling in my legs if I'm having it, because you're moving all around, you're doing the different exercises. If you're jogging or running, your legs are going, and that helps. The biggest thing that I have to do if in the middle of the night I get restless leg syndrome is get up and pace and walk, because that is the only thing that's going to get it to stop. So that's what I found for restless leg syndrome. For anxiety, some of that also applies, kind of relaxing yourself. So lower caffeine absolutely helps lower anxiety. Caffeine does contribute to anxiety or anxious feelings because it raises your adrenaline and your energy, and you're just all over the place, all ready to go, and that can definitely raise your anxiety if you're already prone to anxiety. The next is exercising. Exercising gives you those endorphins, it gives you that boost, and that can help thwart anxiety. It can get your body kind of worn down, it can make it tired, and it can help you relax afterwards. It's not always the case depending on what you're doing, especially what time of day you work out in. Me working out right before bed really helps because I sleep better. I'm worn out after all day and then my workout that it really does help me sleep, and it kind of just wears me out for the night, but that's obviously a case-by-case basis. Another thing for anxiety is to do breathing exercises. Breathing exercises help you focus on calming yourself back down. So it teaches you how to relax yourself and kind of self-soothe. So you're breathing and letting it out, and you're focusing on your breaths and kind of trying to clear your mind. And that can sound silly when you're thinking of like a panic attack, but focusing on your breathing can actually help stop a panic attack because you're not hyperventilating the whole time, because you're focused on balancing out your breathing, and that can then also calm your mind because you're not focused on what you were anxious about and what you were worried about. I have a whole video on anxiety. I actually have probably 2 or 3 videos on anxiety that I will link. If you want more on anxiety, give those a watch and ask any questions you would like about either of the topics I've talked about. The third one I wanted to touch on is weight and kind of weight management. So weight is a funny and fickle thing with Turners because it can go either way. Either the hormone imbalance can make it hard for you to gain weight, so you're constantly underweight and have difficulty gaining weight, or it can make you overweight and have difficulty losing weight. So either way, you're unbalanced with it. I have found for me, obviously, I am the overweight aspect of this. So I do not have tips for the underweight part. I just am not one to be able to speak to that, so I don't even want to try because I don't want to give bad information. I probably don't even understand it well enough to speak to it at all, so I don't want to try to give any advice for that, but I do have some things that I've tried to manage being overweight or to try to lose weight or even just balance out at a healthy weight and focus on health with it. So I have found that I fluctuate a lot more when I have not been on track with my pills, so my hormones are out of balance. Hormone imbalance is a huge thing for weight and weight management, so that could be something that could either be stalling you losing weight or causing you to gain weight. Both of those are huge possibilities if your hormones are very out of balance. Huge possibilities. So number one is make sure your hormones are balanced so that that's not holding anything you do back. Next is create a feasible routine for you for moving, for being active, whether that's just going for a walk or going for a run or doing sit-ups. It doesn't take much to really make a difference in just not being sedentary and just moving and pushing yourself and finding ways of making that enjoyable. So most of the time when I work out, I'm watching TV while I'm doing it. I'm not somebody that goes out and runs. I'm just not. My knee would probably hate me if I tried to do that all the time. I do jog in place. My knee sometimes doesn't like that, but I find it's a really good solution for me. So I jog in place. I do crunches. I do arm exercises. I do whatever I have learned in different exercise classes to try to just move my body and work those muscles and kind of just be active. So I jog in place a lot while I'm watching TV. You could also do a treadmill or a stationary bike if that's kind of your thing also, is being able to watch something at the same time, making it entertaining and fun, stuff like that. Or listening to a podcast, listening to music. I know I listen to podcasts a lot. If I go for a walk, I will have a podcast playing and walk all the way down a hill and all the way back up, and it's a really good workout. I feel great at the end of it, and I got a podcast to listen to. So those are the kind of things I do. I also have really tried to figure out what kind of food works good for me. So there's a lot behind nutrition besides this is healthy and this is not. Even something deemed healthy may not be something that just reacts well with your body. There may not be anything innately unhealthy about it. It just doesn't work well in your body. So like dairy, even organic, pure dairy with nothing bad in it, it's not gonna go good with me because I'm lactose intolerant. So staying away from that stuff, staying away from heavy carbs or things that make you feel sluggish and unmotivated to then go be active. Just being aware of what you're putting into your body and how you're reacting to it. I've talked a lot about paleo. I don't want to harp on that, but really it's just about being aware, keeping yourself knowledgeable about what you're eating and how it's affecting you, and really paying attention to goals with that and just constantly growing in your knowledge of it. So being aware of diet is important. I think this can be something that is super touchy because you can feel really insecure about the weight issues, whether it's underweight or overweight. Both you can get into insecurity problems, and that can kind of stop you from feeling motivated to do anything, but making progress on it will keep you motivated. Sticking to a routine, sticking to something that you like doing and that actually helps you feel like you made a difference. It can really motivate you to keep going and keep on top of it. So finding what you like and what you enjoy and what you wouldn't mind consistently doing is important also. Those are kind of the main things I wanted to talk about. There are also things like liver problems. There can be a malformed kidney where it's like mal-shaped. All of those type of things can come along with it. Just normal organ function can be underdeveloped or not good developed, and that can cause problems. I don't know what they do for things like mal-shaped kidneys or a liver that's not working great. I know for me, for kind of liver support, I've taken milk thistle and it really helps just the whole system overall. It also helps me with digestive issues. I've never heard it connected to that before, but it helped. It really has helped with digestive stuff. So I'd say milk thistle could help that as well. For mal-shaped kidneys, I'm not sure. I don't know enough about how that affects the kidney function to really speak to that. I just know it is a concern and that they do look for that. So I had an ultrasound on my kidneys actually when I was, oh gosh, probably 12 or 13, maybe 14, to look at the shape of my kidneys and make sure they were okay. And they haven't like re-upped that at all. I think it was just a one-time, let's check on them kind of thing. And as long as they looked okay, I don't think they're gonna change shape once they're shaped. So you're probably okay. But that can be something to think about. All of these things are kind of just symptoms of not great development. It's the developmental obstacles. It's the developmental struggles that the chromosome issue with Turner syndrome can cause that then kind of dominoes into other things being affected, and things that you would never think would be affected are affected because it's just overall development. So those are things to pay attention to and to really know your specific situation and your body and your personal issues that you face with Turner's and with everything that can come with it. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any other specific questions, leave them in the comments below and maybe I can do a whole video answering those. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up and share it with everybody. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, click the screen and subscribe. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!